And we are back with another episode of the Blip Pod. I'm Nolan.
I'm Joey.
And I'm Liam.
So Liam is back as a co-host guest this week. We're still on Star Wars next week. Friday. By the time this gets released.
Yeah, Friday the 21st.
With the next season of Clone Wars comes out. So that is our topic for today. So without further ado, our intro song.
Oh God. Bum da da dum da da dum da 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 da. Ba bum 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 da 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 da. It's gonna go like that.
Okay,
but it'll sound
fantastic.
better.
I assume so. Liam's writing us an intro, and until he does so, we're bringing him in every day, and he has to sing
every single day.
Even if he's not a guest host, he'll just come in, sing, then leave.
Exactly. It'll be my ringtone, and then it'll be my alarm in the morning.
I'll send you a recording, and then you can just play it into the microphone.
Okay. So today we're discussing our favorite. So today's a topic episode. We're not going to go over news. That's in our previous episode. You can check that out. That's the news this week. Today's episode is going to be on basically our favorite part of Clone Wars, but we're going to distinguish it down into what is each of us have chosen a best Clone Wars arc. So usually it's like a 3 or 4 episode arc, and then we're going to say why it's the best, defend our position, and then kind of just debate. So just to start off, what did you guys... I know we all really love Clone Wars. Give us each a reason why you love Clone Wars. If you want to start off.
Well, I think why I love Clone Wars a lot is because it gives you character to those you don't see in the movie, like especially the clones. You see how they are all have personalities and they're all individuals. Because in the movies, you never dive into that. You just think, oh, it's just part of an army. They're clones. They mean nothing. But now it gives them personality, and you actually get attached to them. So when you see them die, you feel sad. And it makes the third one 99. Even... Yeah. I feel like it makes the third movie even sadder, how you're seeing them turn on everyone and everyone's dying. Because if you see the series and see all the development within all those characters you don't see in the movies, it really makes it harder to watch, but also better to watch. But.
Wait, what's your reasoning?
So I was thinking about this. One of my favorite things that the Clone Wars does is that it can take aspects of other movies and it'll incorporate it into the stories that it tells. And some of my favorite episodes, they won't like steal the plot of another movie, but they'll take the synopsis and kind of spin it in a Star Wars-y way, and it's just like a really, really, really cool thing that they do. But in addition to that, I mean, it's all about the characters that they create for that show. You have to think about how many of those characters were created specifically for that Clone Wars television show, and now you can't even think about the prequel trilogy without thinking about those characters. Like Ahsoka is an integral part of that prequel trilogy now, just because of her appearance in that show. But you can't, like, at least for me, at this point in time, I can't think of that trilogy without thinking of Ahsoka as well. She's part of it, you know?
Especially with Season 7.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know Ahsoka is your favorite character, Joey.
Of course.
I have 2 thoughts. First is a real reason, second is a joke reason. Real reason, it gives the prequels, as you guys both said, kind of a little bit of what I was going to say, gives it much more context. You see what's happening behind the scenes. You see how all these friendships get developed. You also get to see, and there's a lot of new characters that I love and that could get created, but you also get to see Anakin and Obi-Wan's kind of, for Anakin, that kind of slow, you can see that he's a good person, but also he can go off the rails sometimes, and there's some episodes that are fantastic where he just loses it. Excuse me, and there's like the Force episode where he sees that he's going to become Darth Vader. Also, I really like Obi-Wan because in the prequel trilogy, he's very cut and dry. Where he is the good guy and he does good things and he sticks to the Jedi code. But in the Clone Wars, you have like Satine and everything. He's kind of weaving. I really like Obi-Wan, so I kind of like that. Kind of gives a little more depth to all those characters. Second reason, it shows that Kiadu Mundi, who's the big egghead guy, is the clear enemy of this saga. Let me explain. In the movies,
It's true.
I was watching some more episodes last night. There's even more evidence. In the movies, he sends Yoda off planet during Order 66. He's the one who says that we need to deal with the Wookiees.
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
Exactly. What were the other ones?
Well, he's the one who thought Yoda was crazy when he was hearing about Qui-Gon Jinn, and he's saying that he's just delusional, like old man, basically.
Is that in like the Clone Wars?
That's in Clone Wars.
That's at the end, the last like 3 episodes when
Gotcha.
Yoda's trying to figure out how to have life after death.
Huh.
I think he's the one he votes against
Ahsoka.
He votes against Ahsoka. He votes against Anakin to become Jedi Master.
Mm-hmm.
He says a bunch of stuff. Like, all of his lines in the trilogy are all lead to terrible decisions.
Yep.
There's another in the arc that I'm going to talk about. Like, he's like, when they go to save Mandalore, he's like, well, we can't do anything. They're all just going to have to die. Like, literally, he's like, they're not part of the Republic. They are on their own, and so many people die. I'm like,
Oh my God.
This guy is a psychopath. Like, the entire Clone Wars is because Egghead couldn't get his shit together.
Big head, small brain.
Exactly.
It's like the size of a peanut. It rattles around when he walks around.
Doing. Yeah, but basically that's... I just noticed that last night.
Dude, he'll pull out like a red lightsaber in season 7. And be like,
Him-
it was me the whole time!
No, but also another thing that I do like about Clone Wars that you mentioned a little bit about Anakin earlier is how, if you just watch the movie like Revenge of the Sith, you see like, oh, how did he... I feel like he got deceived way too quickly and it was easy.
Yeah.
But if you watch Clone Wars, you see Palpatine was always whispering in his ear throughout the entire Clone Wars.
Years.
And
Like
you could
10
really
years.
see like how close he was, and he was being deceived the entire time. And Revenge of the Sith also takes place within like 9 months too, around that like 7 to 9
That's
months.
so crazy to
which
me.
you don't even think about really, but it actually does.
And
Yeah.
if you think about it, people are like, oh, his turn was quick. And his turn in the movie is relatively quick because it's a couple scenes. But
15 minutes
if he,
of like,
yeah,
I shouldn't. I will.
but he meets Palpatine when he's
Like 10 or
10,
something.
I think.
Yeah.
And then he is sort of friends with him up until he's like 20. And then for the next 10 years, this guy's his father figure. That's a huge chunk of time. That's not a turn.
It just
That
doesn't
is-
have time to show it
Yeah.
in one movie, especially with
Exactly.
other stuff going on, you know?
So that's one of the reasons I like it. It gives more depth. Okay, so we've all... also, I liked the little Lego Star Wars Clone Wars as a kid.
Oh my
They
god,
go
that
well.
game. I 100% of that game. I got every single gold brick in the whole game. I built the stealth ship that you build at the end of the game if you get all the
I
bricks.
did not build this Stealth ship. I played it at a friend's house. I actually got it recently. I haven't played it yet.
Really?
I have it on my Xbox.
Dude,
I have
You
not
want to
played
do
it
the
yet.
killing noise?
The Yoda. Have you seen the Yoda death noise? There's a petition to bring it back in the updated version.
I hope that they have.
I signed the
do you remember the
petition.
extras? Do you remember the extras
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
So I hope there's an extra that you can turn on Yoda death noise for every single character.
I should just start making Yoda
man.
death noises in real life. Okay. So, we'll get to the topic of our episode. Yoda death noises aside. We each, in a battle royale for the ages, we each have chosen our favorite arc, generally, of Clone Wars. And we shall now explain. Liam, as our guest, you can explain yours first.
I'll go first. All right.
Give the episode arc, or like whatever the episode is, give a very brief synopsis, and then say why.
Okay. I'm gonna have to do my best to remember some of the names of the episodes, but it's the Rekko Hardeen arc, in which Obi-Wan goes undercover for the Jedi to basically figure out how to stop this plot against the Chancellor. And the whole plot is like to kidnap the Chancellor and bring him to the Separatists. The Separatists will use him as a pawn, either by executing him, which it can't happen because he's the Emperor. But anyways, the plot is to either execute him or use him to unlock every single Separatist prisoner that the Republic has. And so a lot of the reason to why I like this arc is just because you finally, I don't know, for some reason it has so much involvement with that scum and villainy idea that that
like
Star
the
Wars
Mando?
has just become.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They go to Nal Hutta, which is one of the coolest places I think that the Clone Wars comes up with. Which also, fun fact about Nal Hutta, it has one of the worst episodes in the entire show.
I know exactly. This is the first episode of the podcast when you said it.
The one with Zero the Hutt,
Yeah.
and that is an atrocious
You
atrocious
just watched it. You
episode.
remember the episode where he's like the purple hut Zero that's like, my goodness!
Oh my god, yes I do.
That-
oh
dude,
man.
why would they bring back Quinlan Voss for the worst episode of that
I
show?
know.
Oh my god! And then that I hate. All right, okay. So if there are three
Side-
characters that I hate.
So Liam should just explain. Liam is slowly turning to the dark side on a side tangent of hate. Continue.
there are 3 characters I hate more than anything in the entire world.
Your eyes are turning yellow.
Babu Frick.
Okay.
Even though-
Holy crap!
He
I'm gonna
don't
text
frick
from him
himself.
that goes. I actually can't say it because we're not an explicit podcast.
I'll just scream McClunky over the word.
That's actually. Yep.
But God, it's Babu Frick. Jar Jar's on thin ice. I think he's okay in the Clone Wars. I don't know, but
better than the movies.
Yeah.
The episode Bombad Jedi.
But-
Regardless, continue.
Sai Snoodles. That's her name. That's her name. Sai
I know it
Snoodles,
is.
the frog lady from Return of the Jedi, who they said, you know what? I know what character to bring back for this episode. They picked Sai freaking Snoodles, who has lips that stretch out a foot away from her face and talks like this. It's the most annoying thing in the entire world. And they have an entire episode on her and Zero the Hutt's relationship.
It was.
And then everybody thinks she's so sexy though too at the same time.
Why did they think that was a good idea? And they make her like an assassin too.
Yeah.
She kills Zero and she's like, you're sending me to do a bounty hunter's work. And I'm like, what the... Who had this idea? Cad Bane's in it though, so that's cool. And
Yeah.
Quinlan Voss is in it. Obi-Wan.
Bane.
Cad Bane.
I love doing that voice.
I love that character so much.
Cad Bane is cool.
Mm-hmm.
That it was created specifically for that series, man. And it's just like,
He's got the Indiana Jones hat.
yeah,
It's got his.
the stress that they put
He
on
kills
that hat,
someone. He
too.
kills someone for the hat in the box.
Yeah.
and he goes,
Yeah.
In that
"What?
arc-
It was a nice hat."
Yeah, in the arc my favorite arc, they do that thing where in the episode The Box, which is like I was talking about earlier, how they will pull from other movies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. There's a movie called Cube, which basically has the exact same plot as the Box, where it's like this group of people and they have to escape all these different rooms in the cube. Never seen it. I just know that it exists.
Gotcha.
But so they basically pulled the plot from that, and they do their own thing just with all the bounty hunters. But like you're saying, there's that scene at the very beginning where Cad Bane, he had picked up a hat that he found on Nal Hutta because they needed clothes because they escaped from prison. That's
That's
from
his
the
big
beginning of
hat,
the year.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
And
But
checking.
this
So-
was a random one he found that was
Yeah.
not his original.
Yeah, and so he sees a guy. It's a like one of those hammerhead guys. What are they called? I think they start with an I. I don't know.
Ithurians.
Ithurians. Yep. And he's like, "That's a nice hat you got there." And then they both draw their guns, and Cad Bane's quicker.
That's
kills
so
him,
Indiana
and it,
Jones.
flies off the guy's head,
Uh-huh.
lands right into his hand, and he switches out his hat.
That's very
so
Indiana
cool.
Yeah,
Jones.
and
I
then
didn't even know
Obi-Wan
that.
undercover, he goes, or said something like, "You really have to kill him or something." He goes, "What? It was a nice
Yeah,
hat."
exactly. It's fantastic.
You know what? Actually, my favorite part of those episodes is a couple things. Seeing Obi-Wan do other stuff.
have to be a bad guy because he's usually like the very
Yeah.
heroic guy, like
Also,
do everything right.
seeing Obi-Wan as bald as an egg.
Yeah,
And
that's
in the beginning when they shave,
horrifying.
They shave his thing off, they shave
It's
his
like
head.
it doesn't look like Ewan McGregor. It doesn't look like anybody. That is the most uncanny valley face in the entire show for me. But I love the part where they like have him sit down and they inject him with the face changing stuff. What they did in the animation, I watched like an animation like documentary on it or whatever. They took like different aspects of his face and just pulled him and rattled him back and forth over and over again. So you look at his face and it's just like shifting and like everything's pulling all over the place, and then he becomes it's creepy, but he becomes Racco Hardin. I think this series of episodes, it's the 4 episodes. The one starts with the killing of Obi-Wan Kenobi, supposed killing of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then the next one is, I think.
when you could really see how Anakin during that whole sequence too, how crazy
I was just
he's
about
going.
to say that.
Yeah.
Anakin turns. That's, to me, one of the most important parts of Anakin's turn to the dark side. It shows him talking to the Chancellor, and the Chancellor's like, because Anakin originally he's not let in to know about the plot with Obi-Wan and all that stuff, and so and when he finds out, he's pissed. You know, Anakin's like, why didn't I hear about this? Why didn't the council let me know?
He even said the council doesn't trust me.
Yeah.
And he realizes that in Revenge of the Sith too.
Yep, and
I forgot how much this arc tied into Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Sneakily. Okay.
the Chancellor, in certain aspects, he's like, clearly the council does not trust you. And the first thing he says actually to Anakin, he's like, so this was your idea, I'd assume? And Anakin's like, no, the council doesn't trust me, so I wasn't allowed to know. And he's like, wow, that's pretty crappy of the council. And it's just he's whispering into Anakin's ear the whole time. And it just, it flows so perfectly, like you said, into Revenge of the Sith that it just makes so much sense as is. But my favorite part of the entire arc isn't a specific part of the episode. I like the box a lot. I think that's great. But just seeing Obi-Wan disguised as a bounty hunter interacting with the worst and most powerful bounty hunter in the entire series, Cad Bane, and just them bickering back and forth, them going at it. Cad Bane tries to get Obi-Wan captured a few times, but they are forced to work together, and that dynamic, it's so perfect. And it spawns one of my favorite Cad Bane lines in the entire show, and it's when they knock Anakin out. I think I just watched it today, but they knock Anakin out, and Ahsoka leaps out from the fog and fends them off so she can defend Anakin as he's knocked out. And Cad Bane, he says something like, he says, "You're lucky we're in a hurry, little lady. We're gonna have to dance another time." And then he walks away, and it's the cheesiest thing in the entire world. But whoever voices Cad Bane, I don't even know who it is.
It's me. You're lucky you don't dance, little lady.
Do I do that a little closer?
Okay, yeah, I'll do it a little closer. Like,
You're lucky we don't have time to dance, little lady.
You got everything but the S.
yeah, lady. Yeah.
But
I was chewing gum before this.
But
I don't like that noise. I'm monitoring the audio for headphones, and I just made that slurping noise, and that did not sound good.
I mean, that was definitely a Jabba the Hutt noise.
Okay,
That's a terrifying impression.
Okay, sorry, continue. I'm getting
But,
distracted. I love Cad Bane.
That was basically it, I think, to voice my
Okay.
opinion on the arc. But just the character designs, too. Obi-Wan, when he's in disguise, he goes to Nal Hut and he gets the Mandalorian. I think it's canonically Mandalorian. I know where it comes from. The helmet that he wears is concept art for Boba Fett done by Ralph McQuarrie.
It actually comes back in one of my episodes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? That's sick. So so then therefore, is it Mandalorian? I think so. They use Mandalorian pistols the whole time too.
Yeah.
But character designs, the atmospheres, the way that the plot develops. I think the weakest part might be the climax in that last episode and the plot to capture the Chancellor. I think that it wraps up a little too quickly for my liking. The whole thing,
because
though,
they don't really have. The only thing is that we know that he doesn't get captured.
Yeah, of
or
course.
doesn't get killed, so there's no real stakes.
But I think that last episode is more of Anakin's episode than it is Obi-Wan's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan's had all these 3 episodes to figure out everything he needs to know about the bounty hunters, but when Anakin's finally confronted by Count Dooku in front of the Chancellor, and basically Count Dooku tells him, "You're not good enough to stop me, and you never will be," it fuels Anakin so much, and just to see that is just really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I actually forgot the importance of that arc. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, as Joey, you were saying, like, all the, that's where it ties in, and then you were describing it, I'm like, holy crap, they really knew what they're doing. That's the one good thing about the show, is that it's able to build suspense on something we know the ending of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thing. Okay. Want to hit yours up?
You
want
go-
me to go
yeah,
first?
you go.
Oh, yeah, you can go first. Okay. So, my arc is the Darth Maul, the Maul Mandalore arc.
Mm-hmm.
For a couple reasons. So the episodes are Eminence, Shades of Reason, and The Lawless. I like this arc for a couple reasons. First of all, I love the Mandalorians. Even before the Mandalorian show came out, I think the smartest thing that both Clone Wars and Rebels did was develop the Mandalorians into like this counterculture of the Jedi and the Sith. If that makes sense. Like, you have the Jedi that are all good.
I
You have
didn't
the
even think about
Yeah,
that.
you have the Sith, which are all evil. And then you have the Mandalorians, which is just basically an extreme version of regular people that realize that they're nothing. So they have to develop themselves to a warrior standpoint where they can take on these basically magic people. So I like the fact that the Mandalorians are kind of built up so that that's actually happening. Let's see, my favorite part. So the arc, I just rewatched it right before this again. I love Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
I think that bringing back in the Clone Wars is a great idea. I was pissed that they didn't do anything with him after Solo, because regardless of the reactions of Solo, that means that they canonically have live-action Darth Maul just somewhere in the Star Wars universe, and they're not doing anything with him.
But there's a rumor that I don't know if it's going to be a Solo series, but Donald Glover is in talks to come back as Lando Calrissian for a Disney Plus series. Him versus Darth Maul would be the coolest thing in the entire world. Might happen.
That I wouldn't mind like having just the two crime syndicates go against each other.
Yeah,
Maybe in the Obi-Wan series you have Darth Maul in that.
that's true
I
too.
hope so.
The problem is you can't kill him.
They can't kill him because of Rebels, but they can just have him
Unless
in
it's...
some context.
Oh, no, it's not going to take place during Rebels.
It might, or
I don't.
If it does, then it shows their battle. And
I don't
because they had to
think
redo
it
the
will.
script anyway.
But you know what it might be if he has a crime syndicate again. He might be actually going up against the Hutts. So he might be on Tatooine going up against the Hutts, and Obi-Wan's just in the shadows going, "Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap!"
I just want to see Obi-Wan learn that Anakin's still alive as Darth Vader.
That's going to be killer. That's going to be killer.
In the first,
that continue.
I was just going to say the first. I heard it was like a rumor that the first draft of the script didn't include that. It was like he already knew. Which I feel like you're missing out.
Apparently, Hayden Christensen will be in this at some point in the Obi-Wan live-action Obi-Wan series.
that'd be sick.
Like flashbacks or something. Oh, what if they did like they filled in the gap between 1 and 2
That'd
with
be
flashbacks?
awesome.
That would be cool.
That'd be insane. I don't know how.
So when do you think Darth Vader finally found out... Obi-Wan found out that Darth Vader was actually Anakin?
So I think he finds out sometime in his life on Tatooine. I think that if anything, maybe he's going through like a spaceport or something like that. And whether it be like a banner or some like broadcast, somebody's like he must see him. I feel like there has to be.
He has, especially a Padawan and the Master have such a good connection, so he'll know within the Force, like, oh,
He'll know he's not dead.
Yeah.
Right? Because he feels when everyone dies multiple times.
I think what he'll do is maybe for an episode they'll have like that suspicion, and then maybe at the end of the first episode he finally like sees an image of Vader, and he's finally like it confirms that suspicion.
Ooh, wait a second. Do we know how Darth Maul? And I know I'm getting off topic. Do we know how Darth Maul lost his criminal empire?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember.
I don't think
Rebels,
so.
But
what if?
What are you talking about?
You know how at the beginning of Rebels, Darth Maul is just a nobody,
Yeah.
but after Solo, he has a criminal empire. So
Oh,
between those
true.
movies, it got destroyed.
Crimson Dawn, right?
Yes. What if Darth Vader and the Imperials took out the Empire? And it's a Darth Maul versus King Darth Vader.
That would be cool.
In Obi-Wan, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and when Darth Vader somehow Obi-Wan, like, maybe he shut himself off to the Force at this point or something, and he comes back later, but he realizes that Darth Vader's fighting style is beat for beat Anakin's.
That would be cool.
That would be insane. I don't know if they'd have the budget for that. Okay, regardless. Back to my Mandalorian arc. I got very distracted by Darth Vader. The Mandalorians are cool. They have I think they're the best thing the Clone Wars did.
They're also the most confusing, I feel like.
They're so confusing. Also, it occurred to me recently that in Mandalorian, Death Watch is the bad guy. In Clone Wars, Death Watch is the bad guys that are destroying the culture. But in the Mandalorian series, Death Watch is the only people that survived.
Yeah.
Like, they're it.
And they're not
That
a
is
race.
confusing.
No, they're
a cult.
yeah. It's just them, and they're having to build back up their.
So Death Watch is the cult. We're to assume that Death Watch is the cult to inspire the cult that is the Mandalorian. Like by the time the Mandalorian show takes place.
Yes.
Yeah,
because that's why it's one of the guys is the descendant of one of the characters in my.
Oh yeah.
Pre Vizsla, also voiced by Jon Favreau. But I think they do this cool thing in this arc where they have, first of all, Darth Maul's fantastic, and Savage Opress is super cool. I found a turtle in my yard once, and I named it Savage. It had like yellow markings, and I was like...
I remember seeing people, like, after that character first came out, everybody was like, who's Savage Opress? And I was like, come on.
He's a nasty opera singer. No, but Savage Opress is so cool, and I think that they do that really well. Top things from that show, this arc, is they bring back characters that you haven't seen in a while. Like, there's that early Mandalorian arc where they have the little kids that Ahsoka trains. This arc, they come back and they're now, like, young adults. And they're fighting. And I'm like, that's cool. I totally forgot about that until the rewatch. Death Watch is super cool. And when they get, like, the Darth Maul-inspired Death Watch outfits, fantastic. Also, I just really love the Mandalorians, and I want to see more of them. But then, you hit the big heavy hitters, which is... Obi-Wan comes in, and he has to watch Satine die.
That was sad.
Which is devastating.
Yeah.
Because, if you think about it, he had to give up Satine because...
The Jedi.
The Jedi. And so, the couple things were, he has to give her up, but he's still in love with her. And he keeps having to see her, And then she gives him a call saying, please help me. And he immediately comes. And I don't think it's explicitly said, but you can assume he disobeyed the Jedi Order because he never uses his lightsaber until Maul gets there.
Huh.
Because when he's attacking the man, before they know Maul's there, he's just shooting it up and he's wearing the helmet from the arc you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
So assumption being that he just steals the ship from Anakin because it's the Twilight
He
ship.
is wearing that helmet?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So I don't think they say it. I think he just ran off to help this lady. Then she dies, which is incredibly sad.
Oh my god.
But then
the music they play.
The music they play is
just
fantastic.
hits hard.
Also, it just shows how powerful Maul is because most people do they do the Force choke and it's the Force choke and everything. He's just standing there and you just see her slowly rise off the ground and just start dying. Like he doesn't even make a movement.
He pulls her
Oh,
towards...
he pulls her and then does the stab.
What I like doing in the Vader Immortal VR game.
Yeah,
I love using the Force grabbing things and pulling it towards me and cutting them as they come
That's
towards
cool.
me. I love that.
I haven't played that game at all.
Oh, dude,
is it really cool?
It's basic. I feel like it has like a storyline that takes off of the Vader comics, which I think is real.
I read the whole thing.
That's
it's so good.
Did you finally finish it?
It's so good.
Yes.
Like I never really read the entire thing, but I feel
Yeah.
like it's either basing off of that
It is,
or
yeah.
so it's like him trying to bring back Padme. And,
Yeah.
and it like even takes the voices from the movie, and I'm just like watching this. I'm literally just like watching it in like a vent, like watching him. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna start crying right now. This is so good.
So good. I think that's the Star Wars for all of its writing mishaps and dialogue. It knows how to do relationships extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like romantic relationships, but just friends and brothers and that kind of thing. And that's why I think and I wasn't a huge fan of the Duchess Satine. I'm not a huge fan of her character, but I love Obi-Wan. And when he's because the whole thing is, Darth Maul's like, oh, you're an idiot because you haven't turned to the dark side. Oh, you don't let your anger and hate. And then she just gets stabbed through the chest with the Darksaber.
The Darksaber, yeah.
It is the Darksaber, which is fantastic and is also a great part of this series, which I cannot wait for it to come back in Mandalorian. But I just love when he's sitting there and instead of, if Anakin had done the same thing, Anakin would have turned around and murdered every single person in that room. Obi-Wan just sits there, does nothing, and they drag him into like a cell or something. And that's it.
Yeah.
He won't give in to the dark side.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they were separated for so long. Because Obi-Wan in the episode, it's the one where they're in the ship and they have the little droids attacking the ship. He says, I would have left the Jedi Order for you back in the day. Back when we were younger, I would have left. But the fact that he has had so much time with the Jedi Order until that point.
That's her last words is, I loved you and I always will.
Yeah.
And that's just devastating.
Dude, I just got
I'm getting
chills.
dude, look at my
I
arm.
just got chills.
Look at my arm. It literally, that's the worst. She's like, I love you and I always will. And then dies. And he just gives up, but also doesn't give in. I'm like, first of all, this is fantastic. As an emotional, there's 99's death, fantastic death scene. Her death, fantastic scene. I know I won't. Is the ending, fantastic ending. But that's one of the big emotional beats, and that's why I love it. Last part is the Savage Opress Darth Maul versus Sidious fight scene is fantastic for a couple reasons. First of all, they have no stakes in that fight. He walks in, kills without moving. All the Mandalorians there just die, chucks him into the wall, crunches them, smashes them down. They fight him for like 2 minutes. He's cackling. Also, I forgot he had 2 lightsabers.
Yeah.
That's the first time we see he has 2 gold. He has 2 solid gold lightsabers.
Did you hear there's a weird I don't know if it's legends or canon, but the reason they're gold is somehow to mock the Jedi by having all this wealth demonstrated on his sword. Basically,
that's
it's
I did not know that.
Also, they probably wouldn't even think if it's a lightsaber because it's the solid gold thing.
Maybe, I don't know. It's cool as hell.
But then he's cackling the whole time. He defeats both of them. Kills Savage, who they've been building up for seasons. 2 seasons at that point, I think.
I think he comes in at the end of 3. He goes throughout the entirety of 4.
And then that's the middle end of 5.
Yeah, middle end, yeah.
So then he dies, and then just takes Darth Maul and just leaves, and then the episode ends.
Well, that's the first time you've seen Darth Maul vulnerable, as he's begging for mercy.
Yeah.
And the only person he actually loved is dead. Like, if you think about it, even though he kind of like had like a love-hate relationship with Savage, it was actually his brother. And then in the end, Savage, like, when he's draining of all his stuff and he's just returning back into like the shrivelly, scrawny guy, he's like, oh, I could have never been you. And then that's it.
Well, is the goal of Maul in that arc to appease Sidious?
No.
Okay.
His goal is because they get into that at the end. He says, oh, I was only trying to get back to you, my lord. And then Sidious is like, no, you weren't, and then just smashes him into the ceiling.
Oh my god.
And then, but so that's the whole thing, is he's trying to, also, it's that kind of thing you touched upon, that sleazy underworld stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize a couple of the aliens from Solo are in that movie.
Really?
In that series. You know in like the Spice Mines of Kessel, where there's all the aliens with the big head
Oh,
things?
the Pike.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Pike
Pike
Syndicate?
Yeah. Did not realize that's
Yep.
an actual, that was cool.
Yeah, they're on Kessel, and then the one's got like the weird like chains. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
But so basically, Maul is fantastic. I love Obi-Wan. That's really, really sad. And then Darth Sidious just comes out of nowhere. Also, I thought Darth Sidious was in it for more. It is 5 minutes at the end.
Really?
Like, I watched the entire arc, and then it just cuts to Senator Palpatine in his office. He's like, Then cuts to him landing on Mandalore, kills everyone, and then this arc ends.
Well, it's like the ending of Rogue One.
Literally.
Like
No,
Darth
it
Vader
is.
coming
Actually,
in
you're
and-
not wrong.
Also, you said I don't remember this, even though I watched it like within the week.
Yeah.
You said the younglings that Ahsoka was with.
Yeah.
They were in that episode.
It took me a couple seconds. Not for long. They
Did they die? Did one of them die? Like the girl with like I forget her name now.
Which one?
The girl with like kind of like that weird.
Like
hair.
like Eddie Gallia
Yeah.
has the same. Okay, so
Did she die in it?
I don't remember them being in that episode, that arc. I know
Two
she
of
comes
them are.
into what you're gonna talk about. They're there, but and then she also like Vision dies in the Yoda part.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. Did she die? Because Yoda was like, "You're dead," and you like point. I'm like, what? I don't remember her dying.
I think it's because he's foreseeing Anakin killing the younglings,
Maybe.
and so I think it's
Oh,
the
damn.
younglings are dead.
No, I'm
Which is-
talking about.
That's screwed up.
Well, I know they have the older version of her that Asajj he killed. Like he looks exactly like her though.
Yeah,
But she's
yeah.
old. It's like an older version of her race, and she died with Obi-Wan when Obi-Wan was fighting them
Mhm.
both.
She
So-
gets impaled by
Yeah.
Maul's head.
Yeah.
He
So
rams
that's
it.
why.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
That's why-
whoa!
that's
I
why-
am forgetting.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, he charges at her.
Like, he's
and
like a
stabs her
rhino.
in the
I
chest.
He's like a
just like
rhino,
a year
you know?
ago.
Yeah. So that's why I thought it was
forget how
her.
violent the show is.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
When Yoda saw her in the vision of all the dead people and stuff, and he pointed at her saying she's dead. I thought they were talking about her, but no, it was a kid. It wasn't like the adult. So I'm like, is that the? And it was
Must
the
be
same
something
voice
different.
too. I'm like,
Mhm.
is she, I don't remember seeing her die. So
Maybe a
Yeah.
dead Padawan or something. I basically
unless it happened off screen, she died.
Yeah, I think it's Anakin killing the younglings. I think that's what.
the guy I was talking about was, it's like Satine's nephew.
Yeah,
He's
he
in
was
it.
he was a lot older
back.
too.
Yeah, I will have to say the one annoying part. He keeps going, "We're gonna do this together, Auntie." I'm like, if you say Auntie one more time,
I know. I hate
It's
hearing
like-
him
I don't
say
remember
auntie.
that.
He's like 17 years old. He's saying auntie.
every sentence. It's like in movies where they're like, "Hello, brother," and he's like, "Hello, my lost brother who I haven't seen in 10
I
years."
hate that.
And they're just like, because they're like, it's a bunch of characters, they need to continuously like remind the audience
said,
of
"We're not
what they
less than
were.
brothers."
I don't remember her nephew. It's not.
It was during back when the other ruler
Yeah,
when they were trying to
the corruption one.
yeah
I'll have to
when
watch it again.
with
Yeah.
the water they infected the water and they're killing all the kids were
God.
like getting
I
sick.
remember hating that episode. The one where they like infect the green water.
Yeah.
I remember I thought that was the worst thing. I just think like when I was a kid I was bored by it. I'll have to watch it again.
It's basically the whole episode is a bunch of kids running around.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was probably why.
So that's probably why.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm getting a picture
And
now.
like Ahsoka can't use her lightsabers or something, so she has to like basically like just
Yeah.
do nothing for 3 episodes, which is boring.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
forgot she loses her lightsaber too.
Well, also she couldn't, and also that other arc. I forget what planet they were on, and they're trying to show them how to fight for themselves because it was like their own. It was like I guess like they're fighting for their own world, and they're not part of the war. They're independent.
Wait, there are 2 episodes like that. Is that the one with the full-grown people or the tiny people?
No, full grown. No, not the tiny
Full-grown
people.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
no, no, no,
I don't know
no.
what you're
That's
talking
when
about.
they train them at first
Yes.
to fight the droids, and then Ahsoka stays there to help them, but she can't get involved. So the entire time, it's like her conflict of what's. That's also
Oh!
within my thing.
Oh,
We're
it's
talking
Saw Gerrera.
Yes.
Forrest Whitaker's in
I
that.
gotta watch that episode.
Yep.
I keep meaning to watch it because I want to see that like beginning of that character again.
Also, I love the episode arc you're talking about because it's Ahsoka just battling, and also she's kind of falling in love with that guy, sort of a little bit.
What's his
Yeah.
name? Oh my god.
He was part of this separatist. His mother was.
Yeah, his
Separatist
mother
Senate,
was
yeah.
killed by Count Dooku.
The mother was
Yeah.
in the Separatist Senate and
Yeah.
voted to be in the Separatists, but then eventually gets killed.
Yeah, it was by Count Dooku.
And
Okay.
then the kid, blames Count Dooku.
But
'Cause I
also
watched
doesn't
that
want to join
episode
the
too.
Republic.
And he tries to join Death Watch.
Yeah, and that didn't end well.
And that did not
Oh,
go
I
well.
forgot about that.
Yeah, he and Ahsoka go to, like, Ahsoka's trying to stop him, of
Yeah.
course.
Oh yeah, actually,
But,
really no. But what I felt when the other scene. Do you remember the scene where there's the tiny little aliens that they have to
Yeah,
try
I
to
know.
fight?
I know. You're
So
talking
I saw recently someone re-edited. There's a bunch of I don't know if you remember this, but it's a tiny little aliens. They're like evil. They sound like that the whole time. They're like wait, yep, and then
Is that with C-3PO and R2?
no,
I know
think
there's
it's
an
with
episode where they're
Anakin.
little tiny guys. I don't remember.
I
know
think they're the same tiny guys, but they go
Really?
to their planet.
I have not.
I know what
I
you're
don't remember
talking
that
about.
episode at all.
I saw recently someone re-edited that entire sequence to "I'll Make a Man Out of You" out of Mulan, and it's just these
Oh
little tiny
my
guys, and it's like
God.
"Be a man," and then he's like beating up Anakin with a stick. Fantastic. If only this was a visual medium.
Someday.
Someday. Do you want to get into yours?
Yeah, my arc. So mine is. This is probably a surprise to you, but it's about Ahsoka.
Yeah. there we
And
go.
it takes place with her ending in the show, but there's also a bunch of little arcs she has throughout the entire series, even from the beginning, that I love. So it's basically just like her arc as a character, but it's mainly just the episode arc at the end. So I just want to point out, like in the beginning, there's like little moments where she questions the Jedi Order, which kind of foreshadows to her leaving. So like I forget what's the within the arc at the end, the girl that actually turns to the dark
Vera
side.
Sophie.
Yeah. So what's her master's name?
Illuminara Unduli.
Yeah. So when Ahsoka's alone with her, and Ahsoka's talking to her, and she's saying, "How are we supposed to like the Jedi are supposed to be caring and compassionate, but we're not allowed to have feelings or be connected or like be connected to someone." She's questioning that. She's talking to her like that. I'm like, wow, this really
It's
shows
good, yeah.
how she goes and leaves the Jedi Order and becomes a great Jedi, because she literally wants to have both sides. Like, you should be like this, but at the same time, the Jedi says you can't be like that, you know?
The
So that's why I'm
extremes.
like, when I saw the episode, I'm like, wow, I never realized that before, but there's like the first season too. I'm like, wow, that's so cool.
Also, sorry, side thing for you to get into it. Apparently, she officially in canon now. It's canon that she knew that Anakin and Padme were a thing.
Oh yeah, well she.
Oh no, they did
like, hint
they did
at
have
it.
a hint in it within like the last season she was in.
Mhm.
There was like a small. Same with Obi-Wan too.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Oh, really?
Obi-Wan hinted to like when he's saying how Anakin was talking to Obi-Wan about him and Satine,
Yeah.
and he's saying like something. Oh, he's talking to her about
Yeah,
that,
totally.
and then later on when Obi-Wan and Anakin are together, when Padme was with the Separatist guy,
The other guy, yeah.
God, that's a
who
weird
then
episode, too.
becomes control of the bank. When she's
Yeah.
alone with him, Anakin's with Obi-Wan getting all mad and saying he doesn't trust her, and he's saying to Obi-Wan, he goes, "Oh, she's being clouded by her emotions with him," and then Obi-Wan goes, "Are you sure that's not you?" or something like
yeah,
that,
that's cool.
and he goes, "What are you talking about?" So like he knows
Yeah.
that.
I was questioning it. I think I asked you. I was like, did Obi-Wan know the whole time? Of course he,
He did.
does.
He
Because
did.
like,
I think he sort of knew, but didn't want to know.
yeah,
Like, because that would mean that he failed big time.
Yeah.
Like, and also that means that the Jedi Order is screwed.
Also, at the end, when Ahsoka leaves, there was a little hint that Ahsoka knew when she says something about like her, like questioning the Jedi Order, and then
Yeah.
Anakin's like, "I know what you mean," or something
Yeah,
like that.
she
You
goes,
know?
I know.
Yeah.
she's
So I'm just
I know.
like, oh, okay. So then continuing on with Ahsoka, so then they had that moment when she's questioning the Jedi Order, like all the way in the first season, and then later on, like I was saying, in that other arc when she's trying to show these people how to defend themselves and take back their planet, and you see her another like contradiction with her, because the Jedi won't let her fight, but she's seeing how everyone around her, she's letting everyone else die, and she can't do anything, and that really like tears her apart, how she can't do anything to help, even though how much she wants to. So that goes to another thing, how she feels the Jedi Order is kind of corrupt and their ways aren't
Too wrapped up in the politics.
valid. Yeah.
Mhm.
And when she just wants to be able to do what's right no matter what the politics say about
Mhm.
stuff. And then I'm just going to skip all the way to the end. So the episode span when she's being framed for the murder and the
So
explosion. And I think that I love that so much. And that's really when you see her character come full circle from where she started and how she has to escape, and she's on her own, and she feels like everyone else turned on her and they're against her. And you see how just like her powers alone, how powerful she's become, and she was able to like run away from that entire army trapped in. There's points where you see like, oh, she's screwed, and then she finds a way.
Yep.
I think that's just so cool. And you see how she is like a great detective. Like throughout the show, you see, like she is on her own, like helping. Like they assigned her to do like detective stuff.
Yeah, with the people.
And then now she's.
I'm just remembering that arc where she has to team with a really, really old Jedi. And he's
Yeah,
like,
that's when she loses her lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she has a white lightsaber. Did you know that?
In the end, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell?
Because she's the gray now.
Oh,
She's
not
like,
her. No, the guy. The old Jedi. He has a white lightsaber.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Are you sure? Really?
I think so.
Whoa.
I can't fact check this
No,
right
wait.
now.
Continue with your thing. I'll
yeah,
briefly fact check
because
this.
in that episode where Anakin is fighting Barriss at the very end, they leap past those younglings, and the younglings are being taught by him, and he has a white lightsaber.
I didn't even notice that.
I could be wrong. It could be like off color, just
Maybe.
in that.
I mean,
shot.
to be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to him in that scene. I was paying attention to the fight more. But
I could be completely wrong.
You could be right. Like I really didn't pay attention to that, but that'd be interesting.
It'd be cool to see. Yeah, because if you think about it, I mean, like.
But also, why would he be part of the Jedi Order though if he did have a white lightsaber?
I don't know. Like that's why I'm thinking maybe it might be a little off. Like
Maybe
yellow.
it's yellow? Because then there's that whole
Like
thing
he'd be like a temple guard kind of deal.
that he's a protector, but a practical protector.
Yeah.
Dude, those Temple Guard lightsabers sound so weird. They're like.
There's like a really cool, we won't get into it today because it's a long thing, but there's like some super cool mythology behind what it means to have a yellow lightsaber.
Well, I watched a video on what every color means. And
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Do you know that Plo Koon used to have a yellow lightsaber in Legends?
Really?
Yeah, and he
Oh,
could
that's
shoot
interesting.
yellow lightning from his. Maybe it was an orange lightsaber. Now I'm getting everything screwed up, but he could shoot lightning in Legends.
Okay.
And he would feel no anger through doing it, even though it was a dark side power, but he would still use it. It was yellow lightning.
You'd politely shock them. Be like,
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry!
sorry, we got very distracted. Continue.
Yeah. So then, and then you see her and Ventress,
Yes.
which I
Yeah.
thought that was very cool dynamic between both of them, and it kind of made me think like, hey, it'd be cool once she left the Jedi Order if they went off together, because Ahsoka's trying to find out who she is now, and same with Ventress is trying to find out who she is now. So I feel like it would be cool just to see their paths collide some more, because it was very interesting. Because they kind of, like, even Ventress says we're just alike. Both of, like, her master turned on her, and then the Jedi
Yep.
Order turned on her, and they're both outcasts.
That's the reason
And
she
that's-
doesn't like turn her in the bounty.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then finding out Ahsoka at the end when she finds out it was keep on forgetting her name.
Oh, Barriss.
Yeah,
Barriss.
Barriss. So when she finally finds out it is Barriss, because that was her like one true friend, like
For the
in
Jedi,
the
yeah.
Jedi Order, and she bent her back over for her, always made sure she was okay, and she's the one who turned on her, and I feel like that was just like a big.
Sorry, I just remembered how important this was. She's, the first. She's in the same episode. She's introduced in the same episode Ahsoka is. Barriss.
No way.
No, she's not.
Yeah, no.
Well,
it's
she's
in
in
the Clone Wars movie.
Attack of the Clones though. Barriss.
Oh, she was shown in the movie.
So in the Clone Wars movie, which is technically the pilot episode, it was the first 4 episodes. It's her and Ahsoka. It's their first mission as Jedi ever. The Apprentice, right? Barriss is the Apprentice, right? Am I thinking of the? Yeah, Barriss is the Apprentice.
I don't remember. I'll have to go back.
I
and watch
didn't see the movie. I didn't watch the movie when I rewatched it.
It's.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
heard, like I heard they should have never done it to start it.
It was supposed to be 4 episodes, but then for some reason they're like, no, we have to theatrically release it,
Yeah.
and then they just scrapped it. But she and, if I'm not mistaken, she and Ahsoka, it's both their first mission together, and they get trapped underground,
No, that's the Geonosis arc.
No, that's not the movie. That's not the movie.
They reference that in the one that he's talking about. They get trapped under the factory.
Yeah.
The droid factory comes down.
Yeah.
I mean, I can kind of see the parallel with everything though, with like the entire Christophsis atmosphere.
I'm thinking that.
No, I think they met during that moment.
But
that was like later in the first season.
That's like the only that's the only other youngling we really get to know, and it's the only. You're right. It's their only actual friend.
And they have brain invaders, which is crazy.
Yeah.
With the worms crawling up Barris, and then she like almost kills Ahsoka.
Yeah, and you see how Barris turns to the dark side, and she's the Padawan, and then Anakin's the master of Ahsoka, and he turns to the dark side. So it's kind of like the opposite of because they're both close together. So it's like the opposite in this duo. The Padawan turned, and in this duo, the Master turned.
It almost makes you think like what would have happened if Anakin had left the Jedi Order like Ahsoka, because he wouldn't have turned.
Also at the end of my arc, how I think Anakin would never turn if Ahsoka stayed. Mainly because I think Ahsoka.
Straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, I think Ahsoka was the biggest. Well, obviously besides Padme, but you saw Anakin and Ahsoka a lot more than Anakin and Padme in the Clone Wars series. She was always the glue that kept his emotions together or tore his emotions apart. So, like whenever she was in danger or something, he would go heaven to earth, like whatever he can do to save her or something. And when she's close by, he's always and she always talks him through stuff. And also, if you think about like Obi-Wan. Also, Obi-Wan was away when he turned to the dark side too, which also is a big factor.
Ki-Adi-Mundi.
But
did he cause that? Wait, who caused?
No, that was partly Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Yeah.
Dude, all right.
Oh yeah, he did send him off.
This is all.
No, Ki-Adi-Mundi sent Kenobi to Geonosis, and he sent Kenobi to the other place.
Utapau?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. No.
Ki-Adi-Mundi did all this. He's the one behind all the damage that was done to this relationship.
I love how this is basically just becoming we freaking hate
Ki-Adi-Mundi.
We're
ripping on him.
But
also, so Obi-Wan was basically kind of like a father figure to Anakin, but kind of turned more into a brother.
I'm sorry, all the lights in our studio
Lights just turned on. Did somebody do that? Oh, is it just time of day? Maybe.
I don't think so. I mean, the lights were on before. Continue.
Yeah. So
Anakin's ghost.
I think it's. Like, Obi-Wan definitely could have helped him not to turn to the dark side, but even in the Clone Wars, you can see when they get together how Anakin does hate stuff that Obi-Wan does. And so even when he finds out that during your arc that they were all lying to him, he was pissed off at Obi-Wan for not knowing. So I think he still could have turned to the dark side with Obi-Wan there, but it wouldn't have been as likely. But Ahsoka, I think 100% he would not, because she is basically his daughter, basically a daughter figure to him. And as a parent, your kid is the number one thing over, like, your brother or your father. So I think she's the biggest factor into if he would have turned or not. So also, she also had a close relationship to Padme, too. So that also plays a big factor. But I also am so happy she left because she does have so much potential, and she thinks outside the box of other Jedis and knows that there is other ways to do stuff. And I just really want to see her live action, and just her journey to become.
Season 2?
I hope so.
Just her journey to become a great Jedi, because I think she has so much great content. Just that journey is amazing.
It's the best original character they've come up with since they've made the kind of original base characters.
Well, everybody wants like Mando to take Baby Yoda to Ahsoka.
Yep.
You know,
I think that would be perfect because. It's after the Empire fell.
You haven't seen the end of Rebels?
I know the end of Rebels.
Okay, so end of Rebels is she goes into unknown space.
Yep.
Also, she goes into unknown space with a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And also she is in the new trilogy. They're saying how let the Sith die and the Jedi die. So that only brings if they're dead then equal force with Grey Jedi. So that would be, and they kind of teased it with like those little kids at the end of the Last Jedi. They're just saying force is force. Stop.
Force is force.
Yeah, let the sides die, and Ahsoka is the center of it all. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if they're leading towards that path, bring her in, like, show her in there and bring the Grey Jedis and show how she became that, which I would absolutely love.
I think they could do a lot with Ahsoka content. I
Mhm.
think you got the right idea.
Yep.
And also,
It's existing character that everyone likes, but also does not have enough. It has so much unexplored story.
and J.J. Abrams even said that she's not dead in Rise
Yes.
of Skywalker.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
her
Dave
voice
Filoni
was
confirmed.
in it, and people were like, "Oh, so she's dead." And he said that just because you heard their voice doesn't mean they're dead. So she's alive.
Were you able to figure out if that one guy had a white lightsaber?
No, but I able to find a complete list of the crimes of Kiadi Mundi. I'm not kidding.
I hate that.
Break it down. But okay, back to the Ahsoka thing before we get into the list of
Yeah.
the lies of Kiadi Mundi. I think that Ahsoka is by far one of the most complex characters that Star Wars has. I like the Rebels arc. I don't know if you ever saw this one, the Rebels arc where it's Tom Baker voices that big plant guy. You know the big guy who's like part of the planet?
Yeah.
Like I love that because it shows like he's gray as well, but he's kind of leaning towards the other side of the gray. Whereas it's like, you know, he's middle, but he's a little more kind of chaos, whereas she's middle, but a little more good. And I think they could play around with that a lot. I think I'm excited to see what they do with her. I don't think that this will be her last thing.
My favorite moment in all of Star Wars, even over the Obi-Wan versus Anakin fight, is Ahsoka versus Darth Vader in Rebels.
Oh yeah, it's
That,
fantastic.
especially when she said, like, "I won't leave you,
Yep.
not this time," and then it
I got chills from that.
yeah,
too.
and it goes back to like her leaving the Jedi Order. I'm just like, that's so good. That's so good. That's like everything you want to see, like emotions packed in a punch.
It is.
Even in some like the smaller episodes, just to see the development of her character is just crazy. Like even in the arc that I was talking about, there's the part where Anakin first confronts Rako Hardeen, and he like pins him to the wall, and you can see how angry Anakin is in that moment because he knows that Rako Hardeen or thinks that Rako Hardeen killed his master, but Ahsoka almost adopts the feelings of Anakin,
Yeah.
and she just lets it happen. And a lot of times she'll be apprehensive or she'll be like weary of Anakin's like.
Like in the
Rage,
like toward
yeah.
more in the earlier in the season, she's always like questioning, like, but that's not the Jedi way, or the Jedi Council said this, like we're disobeying. And then later on, she kind of like she adapts his ways and realizes that there's other ways to get around what the Jedi say, and that does lead becoming a great Jedi. Like she doesn't go to get seduced by the dark side, but she also realizes that there's better ways than what
It's not
the
an
Jedi
end all be
want,
all.
which I think is you do see a lot of Anakin inside of her too,
Mhm.
which I like a lot.
But less
Yeah.
extreme.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
So basically to wrap up, we'll do a wrap up. We'll start wrapping it up now.
Kind of say like what we hope for the new season.
Here's what I want. I want good Rex arcs, because Rex, I feel like he's the only thing we see in this.
Ahsoka and Rex.
Ahsoka and Rex. I think that's basically they're just teamed up for this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Well, like
absolutely.
hopefully, like you were saying before we started recording about how you think that Ahsoka takes the chip out of Rex
Yep.
right after Order
As
66.
in the middle of
yeah,
Order
as it
66.
happened, and he's killing people, and like you said that
I
he might
think
be attacks
attacking
her,
her.
and then she saves him and takes the chip out because you see her Rex and Ahsoka in Rebels. They meet again, and they're basically like best friends. They're like so happy to see each other,
Yeah.
and Rex got his chip taken out, but you didn't see it yet in Clone Wars.
Mhm.
So that means he still has it in. So, and it ties into Order 66. in the
Also,
season.
yeah, because in the second trailer, you see Ahsoka getting attacked by what you can assume is clones on the bridge of Imperial of the lights in this place have a
Demigorgons.
yep. You're not wrong. We're in the upside down now. You're in Nemorp. What was I saying? Oh yeah, no. Basically, I think that Order 66 is going to start. Rex is going to attack her, and then she's going to pull Rex and somehow like remove it out of his
I
hand.
don't remember seeing that in the trailer. I'm gonna have to go back and watch
It is 1 second.
Really?
It is like the end of the trailer. It is a
I
frame.
know there's
It-
like the shot where she like I think it's her feeling Order 66
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
to happen.
It's also on the bridge of it. That's my theory. She's going like this while looking out on the star bridge, and then there's another shot where she's
man.
standing on top of. You know how they have the hollow tables in like the middle of the
Yeah.
star bridges? She's standing on top of it, both lightsabers, and a clone's body is pulled toward her and deposited on the ground, and it's in blue armor. I think that they start attacking her. She pulls Rex in, knocks him out, and is just defending herself. That's my
I mean,
theory.
that'd be so cool.
The
That'd be so cool.
coolest ending to both their character arcs.
Yeah.
in that
And they
series.
run off together.
Yep.
I hope that this last season, I hope that the last moment of the last episode is them together.
I think it might be. I think it's them
That'd be
because they're
cool.
the main characters of the Clone Wars series.
Yeah. I love how they're already planning to like fuse this whole season with episode 3.
Well, we get to see, because it takes place 7 to 9 months, episode 3, and there's so much that we don't see, so I guess it's going to weave in the parts we didn't see in the movie, which will be really
This whole
cool.
season, Mandalore is going on during the Revenge of the Sith.
I think it'll make Revenge of the Sith even better movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to make it a better
You
movie.
could even watch it like back to back, and it would be fantastic.
Also, one thing, I gotta say, my boy Fives, he could have saved the entire Republic and all the Jedi, but no one believed him. They all thought he was crazy, and they shot him down.
I hope they reference that as the inhibitor chip is taken out.
Yeah, they're like, he was right. He was right this entire time.
Yeah.
No, they probably will. They have good characters. Trying to think what else. You got any speculations or things you want from this season, Liam?
Nothing really at the moment. In terms of just like the way I want things to look, I can't wait to see those like Jedi Interceptor starfighters come back.
Yes, okay.
Because that's going to be cool as hell.
I do like those. Yeah.
I almost hope, similarly to how it was done in Jedi Fallen Order, that like, we've already seen Emperor Palpatine give the command of Order 66. I almost hope it's like a surprise during an episode, where it's like they focus a lot on Ahsoka and Rex, and then halfway through the episode,
So basically, like,
Rex just takes out a hollow thing.
Yeah.
And, like
What
a
if they didn't even do
communicator.
Hollow thing? What if they're like middle of just a random episode that about nothing?
That's what
I think-
I almost kind of hope
Yeah.
it's like that.
I think it'd be cool that way because you take it from the point of view of like
An
Rex
actual- yeah.
and Ahsoka, so they're so oblivious of it. They don't know any of this is gonna happen. Like Anakin and the Emperor, they got their thing going on, which we already saw, so we know it's coming. But then we're seeing it from Ahsoka's point of view, like they have no idea this is gonna happen. Then next thing you know, it just hits like out of nowhere. You're like, oh crap! Even though we know it's gonna happen, we're surprised.
I would love
You
that,
know?
actually. I didn't realize how much I would love that. I hope there's no preamble. I hope it feels like a filler episode, and then suddenly in the middle of a filler episode, it turns out, nope, boom, that's it.
Well, that's what made the orders. Wait a minute.
What's up?
Have you guys both played? Jedi
I
Fallen
have played Jedi Fallen
I have
Order.
not.
Do you know the plot of Jedi Fallen Order?
No, I do not.
I will not say any more.
I mean, like you could. I really don't care.
No, I don't wanna. I don't want you to experience it. I feel bad because I just made an assumption.
No, you're good.
But-
Do
I will not say it.
you wanna? I don't know. What else we got?
I mean, I'm pretty much good for. I think I got everything off my chest I need.
What's everyone give their favorite Clone Wars character?
Well,
I know yours.
Yeah,
that's why I'm
I'll-
saying.
I'll say Cad Bane.
You said Cad Bane? I'm gonna go with. I think it's gonna be. I love Ahsoka a lot, but I don't want to steal yours. So for variety's sake, I think I might say Rex.
Rex, yeah, definitely. I want to change mine to 0.
Zero?
Oh yeah, mine's Sice Noodles.
Yeah. Nah, Ahsoka, 100%.
Zero that. Oh my goodness. I forgot how much I hated that character until you just brought
Sice
that up.
Noodles.
No, Zero.
I was gonna say I want to punch Sice Noodles in the
Both
friggin' tentacle
they're,
mouth.
They're a package deal. They
are.
suck just as much.
They're the worst.
They make out. Zero and Sice Noodles.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
behind the jail and they make out
Yeah.
with each other and it's horrible.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's easy for her to make out in jail because her mouth could just stretch
That's
right
what
there.
happens. It's so horrible. It's like a tentacle. It's horrible.
Stop yelling tentacle. Okay, so to wrap up the episode, we have the list of crimes of Kiadi Moody, which is I've never been more happy. Okay, episode 1. Kiadi Moody says the Sith don't exist, even though they clearly do, and they're fact.
Guilty. He's guilty.
He's guilty. Thank you. I would appreciate if you guys can go guilty.
Yeah, I don't want to hit the
Don't hit
table.
the table. We're guilty. Okay.
Guilty.
When Satine called everyone for help, Money denied the request because Mandalore didn't defend them.
Oh yeah, big time
Guilty.
guilty. Yep.
At Ahsoka's trial, he was the first person to accuse Ahsoka, and it was his idea to
Guilty.
Let's see. Kiadi Moody called Yoda crazy for contacting Qui-Gon Jinn and said it was impossible.
Guilty.
Kiadi Moody, even though Yoda basically never leaves Coruscant, Kiadi Moody sends him off Coruscant for the actual Order 66.
He's actually secretly part of it, and then the Emperor just turned on him, so kill him too. Screw this guy, I got Darth Vader now.
I don't want Conehead.
Yeah.
I want Darth Vader.
He was part of the council too.
I want a burnt chicken nugget instead of a cone head.
Anybody else? Let's see. Yeah, no, this does not look good for him. He's in the new season too, so every time he's on screen, I'm just gonna be like,
better show him die again.
He'll turn around in his chair and you'll see his glowing yellow eyes. Good.
He also is part of the council that sends, basically, literally, whenever something bad happens, he's the one who sent everyone, all their good guys off. He's also,
Typical.
weirdly enough, he's never there during the important council meetings where anything bad happens. He's also,
Yeah, but then he gets eradicated
he's
by
always
the
table then.
Marines.
He does die very quickly. But he looks confused, so what if he knew about it? And he's like, why are you attacking me? Oh, no! Betrayal! I thought I was evil as well. Okay, I think that's a wrap-up for the episode. That was kind of just a breakdown. We wanted to go over that before we get Clone Wars started for next week. Next week we'll be doing review of episode 1.
Can't wait, man.
Cannot wait for episode 1. We're going to do a brief speculation and then the news. I think we're going to get a couple new trailers this week. And
I hope so. I don't know.
Potentially. I think there was some stuff rumored to come out this week. So we'll
What
see.
if we just got the screen tests for Batman, but like
I don't
Any
even think
teaser?
they've started filming yet.
oh, you know what? You're right. They just started, I think.
Yeah, I think it's very.
I
That was
forget
just a
what I forget
photo
what I said
shoot.
about the
That was just
Batman.
a photo shoot.
I think it literally was them testing on the costume. Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna go fall asleep. Well, I'm Nolan,
And I'm Joey.
I'm Liam.
and this has been an episode of the Blip Pod. And actually, we can expect Liam on next week for
Yeah,
our
A review.
for a review of
Clone
episode
Wars.
1. So it continues. Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram. I forgot to do this in the last episode. I'm realizing. Check us out on Instagram, on YouTube, on Apple Podcast, all at the
We could
Blip
be on
Pod.
Spotify now.
Yeah.
We will soon be on Spotify. You are correct. And then Twitter, and then Facebook under the same names, the Blip Pod, all one word. And then if you need to contact us, it's theblippod@gmail.
Huh.
So basically,
Yeah, leave us your comments.
leave your comments. You got an
Like to see
email?
your inputs.
Do you have any hate mail? any comments about Kiani Moody? Just yeet them towards
all
us.
you Kiani Mooney fans.
We'll make sure to talk more about it. We could be on a
Bring it
random
on.
subject. We could be talking about like minions.
I was thinking the same thing.
And then we'll bring him up saying how he's
Oh my God.
he's gonna kill the minions. or
Kiani
something.
Moody?
No, what if he is a minion? He is the weird little conehead. What if he's just
In
the
season
minions?
7, he turns around, he's got like one goggle on.
He puts on the goggles. Okay. Well, that's our episode. Check in for more Kiati Mundi Minions news. Kiati Minions news next week. Okay. See you later.